Well, I felt like I should get in front of a camera and talk today. I've never really done this, mainly because I'm afraid, and I don't think fear is a good way to live your life and to determine like what you do. So I'm just gonna do it anyways, and if it's painfully awkward, I apologize. But I don't know. I'm so thankful for you guys and like what you've done. I've seen so much support, and I try so hard to get back to all the comments, but you guys have just been so good, and it's just crazy. I can't even believe it. Like millions of views across YouTube, and it's just like really blown my mind, and I don't know. I'm just so thankful. So I don't know. I figured I'd get in front of a camera and tell you a bit about myself, because that's probably I'd never do that. I'm almost always I'm very kind of a private sort of person. It's not a good way to be, so I figure here's a step towards being normal. But I don't know. When I was like 10, 11 years old, I started taking piano lessons, and I remember my mom took me to a movie one time, The Pirates of the Caribbean, and I heard the like score, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the whole world, like Hans Zimmer's crazy string parts and that crazy just the crazy amazing music. So I remember I had this epiphany. I was like, what if I count the spaces between the notes, or the chromatic scale in between every single like interval, it's called. But I didn't know it at the time. I just had this like idea, like what if I count like through the chromatic scale and find which each of these notes like was like within the scale. I wonder if I'd be able to go home and play on piano. So I did, and then I went home and I played it for mom, and she was blown away. So I think that was kind of like the start, because like after that moment I realized I could play like piano and I could play guitar and any instrument inside my head. So basically like my mental psyche process was just music all day, all night, during class, during sports, during everything. And I used to be good at a lot of things, and I kind of lost my talent because I was always thinking about music. I was always dreaming, and yeah, I don't know, it's all I really ever wanted to do. And as I got older, obviously fear sets in, and people tell you kind of like you can't do that. Like I know I went to public high school, and it was very much like well, you work really hard and then you can maybe be a lawyer and a doctor, and if you just do pretty good you can do certain things, and you can do this and this and this. But musician was never really an option, at least the way I was like raised up in, and it was like frowned upon. And it's like, because it is a high risk, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, like it's high risk if you don't study. I heard a super intelligent dude one time tell me, he's like, yeah, risks are beautiful, risks are amazing, but the higher the risk, the more you have to study. So I think that was one thing that stood out to me. I don't know where I was going with that, but oh yeah, I was struggling with fear. I thought the music was never gonna happen, so I just kind of like gave up on it once I graduated high school. And yeah, just my first year in I went to university. I enrolled in a community college, and yeah, it was fun. I just kind of settled, and I was headed towards a normal life. And it's funny because I went to I don't know if you guys heard of like Bethel Music or like Bethel Church, but I spent some time at Bethel Church in Reading, and I literally had like 15 random people I'd never met before, I kid you not, come up to me and tell me, I feel like the devil's using fear to keep you from stepping into your destiny. And I don't know what to do. It's like one of those things that like you can't like really explain. Like something larger was at work, and and it was so true, because I was working a job, I was going to school, and for the first time like in my life I had this like 15-year like lens on, like I saw my future if I kept heading in the same direction. And it was just basically like a settled life. Like it wasn't what I wanted to do, it wasn't where I wanted to be. So I came home and I dropped out of school, and I quit my job that was paying me like really good for like a 19-year-old that's in like classes. And I literally just started studying all day, every day, and trying to learn. I know my big obstacle was I couldn't record myself, and if I was to pursue music, I'd have to. My way to argue myself against doing it was, if I wanted to make it on music, I'd have to record music, and recording music costs money. But something like shifted in me, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll learn to record myself. And like I never believed I could, but yeah, I don't know. I was just like, if I study hard enough, I'm sure. I've got really good at like guitar, and I got really good at piano. Why can't I get really good at recording? So I don't know. I started studying all day, every day, and I started to like research like the business on how to do it and how to make these things happen. And yeah, like 2.5 years passed, and I saw nothing. But I felt like I was finally at the point where I could start like releasing music, because I felt my recordings were a lot better than they were when I first started, because they were freaking horrible. But I don't know, I put my song Love Out for the first time. I hadn't released a song that I ever that I recorded myself, and this last studio release was Come With Me. That was like 2, 3, 4 years prior. I can't even remember, I don't know time frame. But yeah, I put it out, and the response was so positive, and people were so like nice, and I couldn't believe it. And so then a month later, I put out Eyes of Love EP to see what kind of like genre people kind of appreciated the most, and Worthwhile was definitely the most successful one. And I don't know, I just kind of niched into that like genre, and it's just been crazy. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe the response. I didn't think it was possible, and I don't know why I'm making this video, but if there's someone out there who's like dreaming but feels like it's impossible, I don't know, study, research, do it. There's like so many people I'm positive there's so many people who had a way worse upbringing, way worse predicament, that had like made it work, and you just got to make the right decisions and go after it. And I don't know, I hope I can serve as inspiration to just truly like do what you want in life. And I don't know, I don't feel like I'm well spoken, or I'm almost always a listener, and I'm much more a thinker than an internal kind of processor than an external processor. But I don't know, I truly love you guys, and if there's anything you want me to do, like as an artist, like Q&As or anything, I'm totally be happy. I'm so thankful, and this is really helping me grow as a human, to be less of an extrovert. And I don't know, yeah, well, thank y'all so much for listening to me ramble on. I hope it wasn't too crazy. I have an album coming out August 2nd, so be sure to check that out. It's rock. I wrote it in my head my senior year of high school, when I was supposed to be paying attention in school, and I always told myself I was going to put it out, and now I'm finally going to do it, and it's so different. I hope it's so strange, but I hope you guys appreciate it, and if not, I promise there'll be more normal music that's less crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Peace.